Alright, this is Chat UCD and my reflections on the 2-0 win against Sunderland at Old Trafford, a game that I went to, hence why my voice probably sounds a little bit hoarse. A win which was really important, a clean sheet which was great, the first clean sheet of the season. Certainly nothing convincing from United today. I thought two poor teams against each other. Sunderland offered very little. What stands out to me with United is there's no flow to the game, there's no fluidity, there's no cohesion. Sunderland were there for the taking today in terms of a decent team would put them away and score a few goals against them. And we're playing moments which has really not changed since Solskjaer, really. You know that there's players on the pitch that are capable of producing something, but it's moments. It's not as a result of another week on the training pitch, which they've had. There's no flow, there's no, as I say, cohesion, fluidity. It all looks very fragmented. And something I noticed, and I don't know if you do see more at the game than you do watching on telly, I don't really know, but this is just basic stuff. Like when a United player passes the ball and there's an opportunity for them then to run and go and create space either for themselves or for others, or take a defender with them in a forward position, they pass it and then they stand still. I coach an under 11s team, and one of the basic principles is you don't pass and stand still. You pass and move, particularly if you're trying to go forward. If there's no other options on and you're running into trouble, then fine. But there was a number of opportunities, particularly down the right hand side today, when Ahmad was finding acres of space where it would be a pass and then stand still. I've said this before, it's very fragmented, it's robotic, it's mechanical, there's no flow to it. And I said yesterday in the preview, any range of different results could happen. Could United batter Sunderland today? Yeah. Could they get battered? Yeah. I mean, the second eventuality never looked like happening. But at 2-0 in the first half, you hope that you can go and score more goals. It was a professional job. They did the job. They got the job done. There was no drama, which is a win. We desperately needed a win, so that's fine. And we've won 3 in a row now at Old Trafford. And we've won 2 out of the last 3 games, if you want to look at it that way. But I don't look at that today and see a team that's going anywhere. One of the things I said yesterday was it could click. That's definitely not a case of it clicking today. It was all right. It was no better than that. Just my view. People could disagree, of course, but it was not awe-inspiring at all. We left with about 5 minutes to go to try and make a dart so that we didn't get stuck on Chester Road. And I went without any fear of missing anything. So I think that speaks volumes, really. Just to go through the game, obviously we got a relatively early goal. Nice finish from Mount. I think the keeper can do better, but it's a nice finish. Mbeumo looked bright in the first half. Ahmad was in acres of space, as I mentioned, and looked one of our better players. Mount was really good today. In general, he was very good. Very tidy on the ball. He's one of the ones that does get the ball and do something dynamic with it. He turns with it. He's got a little trick. He's innovative if he's caught in a tight space. I liked Mount's performance today. I thought it was a strong performance, and I think probably was brought off to protect him more than anything else. And some of our best spells of football this season have been with him on the pitch. Diogo Dalot, for me, stands out like a sore thumb, particularly when you're at the game. It just lacks quality. He's poor. A lad with great endeavour. I don't dislike him in any way. I just don't think he's good enough. He's not on his own, but he stood out today. Second goal, long throw by Dalot actually, and De Ligt flicks it on, and Šeško scores 2 goals in 2 games for him, which will give his confidence a boost. You could see in the second half, he was, in the start of the second half at least, he was quite bullish, he was quite confident, it looked like it had galvanised him. But I must add, for a big boy, which he is, he's a big boy, he's not strong enough. He doesn't hold the ball up, he gets knocked off the ball too easily. I don't think he is particularly great in aerial duels, he mistimes his jumps. I didn't think he was particularly good today, to be honest, but he's got a goal, which is was important. It was nice to see Lemens play. I felt like it was a good debut for him because he didn't have a lot to do. One shot from distance, which he got down to, which he should save. Really, it was pretty standard. I thought a bit mixed with his feet. He seems to be able to use both feet, but just had an aura of confidence about him. He caught a ball to the rapture of the United fans towards the end of the first half, and I said to the guy in front of me, "Fucking hell, we've got a goalkeeper," and he was laughing. And he said, "Don't speak too soon." I said, "This is how bad it is, though. We've been so starved of anything decent regarding a goalkeeper, or regarding anything really, but particularly regarding a goalkeeper, that you see a keeper just come and claim a ball, and you're thinking, flipping heck, we've got a goalkeeper." So I thought he was all right. He did well. I want to see him play now. He's got to be the number 1 goalkeeper. But I thought he looked confident. He had one very hairy moment in the second half where he came out, and I thought potentially could have given away either a free kick or a penalty. I'm not sure if it was in the box. And the lad ended up, the Sunderland lad got booked for diving. I think we got away with one there. It was Bruno was kind of letting it go to him, and neither of them really were decisive enough. And then by the time Lemens came out, I think he's nailed the lad, to be fair, but I have to see it again. I should have said they had a penalty, but then it was overturned by, well, the referee looked at the video monitor and overturned it towards the end of the third. Well, it was the last kick of the first half, it would have been, which could have again changed the game if they had got a penalty and scored from it. But the second half was a real pretty dull affair. Say Mount, standout player. Ahmad, not quite as good in the second half, and Mbeumo not quite as good in the second half. Dalot continued to be quite poor. That midfield is, today we played against a pretty ordinary team, so that was fine, but that midfield just doesn't inspire me with confidence at all. And I know I'm not on my own with that. You know, people have a go at Bruno and say about positional ill-discipline and giving the ball away. There was one point where, because of the way the game transitioned, he filled in at left-sided centre-back. I think Shaw had made a run upfield, and Bruno just naturally slotted into that position. And while the passage of play continued, he stayed in that position. As soon as it went back to our goalkeeper, he then demanded Shaw come back, and he went back into his position. People always here, there and everywhere. People say, well, that isn't the case of him being here, there and everywhere. That's responsible. That's him filling in for someone because he's the nearest one to play in that position. And when you watch him, he's constantly dictating the game in a way where he's always talking to people. He's always trying to I think, mentor players. He's always in the referee's ear, which I think we need more of that. Someone badgering the referee, an irritant almost, because we've lost that antagonistic side to us, which I think we had when we were a good team. And he wasn't great today, Bruno, at all. On the ball, he was pretty wasteful at times. He had one very good shot in the first half, I think it was. But no, he wasn't great. But I just look at the rest of the players and I think you put him in a proper team and he'd be absolutely mint. Not in midfield, he's number 10, but I don't get the hate for him at all. I don't even get the mixed reactions at all. I think he's a top player, and he's had his prime years at Man United, and all right, we won the League Cup and we won the FA Cup, but I believe he's a player that was well capable of playing for a top team in Europe, and he stayed at United and showed loyalty. And Maybe he's not quite as good as he was. He certainly isn't a midfield player, but every time I watch him play, especially in person, you see the work he gets through, you see what he does off the ball, you see him talking his teammates through and stuff like I mentioned. A player that when he retires from Manchester United will be remembered very differently to how some people perceive him to be now, in my opinion. Going to the game, I was in the Stretford End with my lad, and it was decent. It was alright atmosphere, a few songs going and whatnot, but there's no feeling of connection between the fans and the team. There's no feeling that this is going anywhere. The fans are there, they're turning up, they're being dutiful, they're singing songs, but in the second half, a lot of the songs were about players from years gone by, Jaap Stam, Ji-sung Park, Roy Keane, Ollie Solskjaer, you know, like the heroes of the treble team, and obviously in Park's case, obviously it was a bit further on, but really celebrating our past. Because if you look at our present, it's nothing to celebrate. I always use this as a bit of a barometer, actually. If you look at how many of our players now have got a song sung vocally by the supporters, it's not many. Lamens has just arrived, so that's different. But I think about De Ligt. I think De Ligt's a mint player. And unless I'm missing something, I haven't been going to games for a long time, but I normally pick up on songs that I can hear on the TV and stuff. I don't think De Ligt's got a song. I don't think Yoro's got a song. Luke Shaw's been there 10 years and got a song. Diogo Dalot hasn't, nor should he. I don't think Ahmad's got one. Certainly not an audible one that's sung regularly. Casemiro's is the Casemiro. It's like that's. I think City sing that about. I think they used to sing that about Fernandinho or something similar to that. Other teams sing that song. The only one really is Bruno. And I think that speaks volumes. He's the only hero in the team. And Lisandro Martinez, when he gets back, it carries that aura with him where the fans relate to him, recognise him, and identify with him. But that speaks volumes for me. Second half, he's singing songs about players from years gone by, and I'm one of the loudest ones singing it because I love those players and I feel very blessed to have watched them. But there's no optimism, even when we're winning like today. There's relief, there's that feeling of, we can relax a little bit, but it's not. There's no belief this is going anywhere, and I mentioned this I did 2 videos yesterday which didn't like me, but I can't remember which one it was, where I said, it might have been the enough is enough one. We all know that this isn't going anywhere under this ownership structure, with the Glazers still there. If the Glazers left left Man United tomorrow, the next home game would be absolutely a different atmosphere. It would be bouncing, and there would be belief and optimism and a sense of liberation. We're almost prisoners under these absolute arseholes, and we all know it's not going anywhere. So as I say, the word I'd use is dutiful. The fans are dutiful. They're there, they're getting behind the team, you're trying your best. You celebrate the moments when they score, of course you do, but you're looking at it thinking, this isn't what this club's about. This team isn't great, this manager isn't good enough. The ownership inspires very little confidence. And we won today. And that's good, of course. But I feel it's a very pragmatic good. We won, that's all right, isn't it? But it's not like, it doesn't inspire confidence. For me, the international break, the narrative is, Amrim saved his job at least for another few weeks or whatever. If the board look at the situation and assess it, forget what happened today. If they'd have lost, it'd have made it a lot easier for them to sack Amrim. We didn't, we won, which is obviously good. But today shouldn't save him. if they assess it and think he's not good enough, then win, lose or draw today is irrelevant. He needs, if they think he's not good enough, he needs to go. You can't just be, like they lost against Sunderland, therefore that's the tip of the iceberg. We've had loads of tip of the iceberg or straws that break the camel's back, whichever way you want to look at it. We've had loads of them. We've had enough of them already. And I've said before, I don't dislike the guy. I'm not shouting it from the rooftops that I want him to be sacked. I don't think there's anyone massively inspiring that can come in. What I'm saying is, if the club decide that he's the right man, then whatever happened today, he should stay, even if we lost. But if they decide that he's not, you can't go from 1 week to the next. This is what we did under Mourinho, and it's what we did under Ollie, and it's what we did under Ten Hag, where it seems to be governed by that particular result that weekend. There's always going to be a result that breaks the camel's back. There's a straw that breaks the camel's back. Absolutely, there is. But you've got to have enough nous to know whether you think it's going to work or not. Let's be able to beat Sunderland, so therefore we back him. I don't think he will go in the international break. I don't think he will, but there's another one in November, I think, and then there's not another one after that until sort of March or February time. If they want Europe this season, if they do genuinely want Europe this season, they can't leave it until Christmas, because the season could effectively be over and difficult to claw back. And as we've seen before with this team, they don't bounce with a new manager anyway. There's not that just natural bounce that you normally get. There isn't that, which I covered yesterday as well. So it's the first time my son's gone to a game and we've won. So I'm delighted for him that he's seen us win. It is important that we won, but I do not see that at all as a corner turned or a sign that there's anything to get particularly excited about. Glazers out.